What's happening, guys? So here with another video out here in some random beautiful location. Not so beautiful, but you know what, it's local, and it's just a random car park next to a train station. It's quiet, you know. Thought I'd just give you my thoughts while I'm here, you know, because I got a little bit of time to burn, you know. So today's video is going to be about discipline, you know, because I've been thinking about it, because I've been applying discipline in my life intermittently for many years, but today in general I've been applying it as best as I can, even though I've almost fallen off. I've been applying it the best that I can. So discipline is not something that you need in order to achieve a certain something, to achieve a certain goal. You don't need discipline in order to achieve your weight loss goals. In fact, you build discipline when you choose to follow a strict regime. When you're choosing to eat healthier every day, you're choosing to build your discipline. You're training discipline. It's not something that you need. When you think that discipline is something that you need in order to achieve your goals, then your goals are dependent on whether you have discipline or not. You know, so it's where you come across a lot of people that will use that excuse, you know, like, oh, that person has a lot of discipline, or I haven't got enough discipline to do something like that, you know. It's like, oh, you've lost a lot of weight, you must have like really good discipline. It's not having, you don't inherently have strong discipline. It's something that you build with your choices, because we all have choices. It's not like I popped out of my mum and all of a sudden I just had like this strong disciplinary nature, if that's the word, disciplined nature that others don't have. It's something that you build. It's something that you see when you see something. So when you see somebody close to you, right, somebody that's relatable to you, applying discipline in their life and building discipline, having that discipline, all of a sudden it becomes something that isn't so far out of reach, you know, especially when you see somebody that you know. And that's why it is really good, you know, when Jim Carrey said influence is the greatest currency you'll ever have, you know, that your influence on others is really important, because you never know how you might influence others to achieve their goals through achieving your own. So discipline's not something that you just have, right? You don't just wake up and all of a sudden I've got more discipline today than yesterday. Sometimes it feels like that, but discipline is something that's built through your choices, and you need to choose to one thing over another when you're building discipline. So when you want to lose weight, for instance, you need to choose eating healthier over eating not healthy food, right? When you're eating junk food, you're choosing not to stay disciplined on your walk, you know, on your journey to weight loss or fitness and good health, you know. So when you make the choice, that's when you've lost discipline. You know, you've gone against discipline. Discipline is something that you choose. So if I wake up today and I say, all right, well, I don't feel like going to gym, you know, I'd rather stay in bed because it's nice and toasty, it's nice and warm, and I can just do it tomorrow. That's a choice that I'm making there. That's not based off of discipline. It's based off of it's based off of pleasure. right? You know, because it's more pleasing to be in my warm bed than to get out in the cold and to go out and put myself through strenuous activity, you know, running on the treadmill, which is, it's not easy, you know. It doesn't feel great to do it at first, especially when you're a bigger person, but that's what it is. That's what discipline is. You're putting yourself through a certain amount of something in order to gain something else, you know. So discipline's something that you build. You have to build discipline. You're not just born with it, right? You need to make the choice to get out of bed and to go to the gym. You need to make the choice to eat the healthy thing, to cook your own meals, you know, to count your calories. Your desire to have a healthier body is more, it would be more important. If you wanted to become disciplined, you need to have a desire to have good health and have a nice body if you want to achieve your goals. And that's what discipline is. You know, it's feeding that desire rather than feeding the desire of instant gratification, of staying in bed and flicking through TikTok and Facebook, you know, a few more hours before you get out of bed. So yeah, it's all about applying yourself and making the choice every day to stay on the path that you've chosen, because it's easy to just fall off. It's actually hard. It's hard work to stay motivated, to stay in the gym, to keep going. It's hard work, you know. You can do hard work. I can do hard work. I prove that time and time again. So that voice that says, "Oh, it's okay," you need to say, "No, bitch. It's not okay. I'm not gonna go get Hungry Jacks. I'm not gonna go get McDonald's. I'm not gonna sit in bed for another hour." No, that's not good enough. You need to expect more from yourself. You need to want more for yourself, especially if you want to achieve the body that you want to achieve and achieve the health goals that you want to achieve. One thing that kept me motivated in the gym, that kept that desire going, was anger. In the past, you know, I was angry about a lot of things. I was angry about girls, like past girlfriends. You know, I was angry with my family. I was angry with my dad. You know, I've been angry with other family members. You know, anger a lot of the time drove me. You know, because I constantly filled myself with that anger, I went into the gym. You know, I'm gonna prove the world that I can do this. I'm going to prove to the world that I can do this, even though that's not the right attitude to have. You don't want to do this for the world, to prove to the world anything. You want to do it because you want to prove to yourself. You want to do it because you want better for yourself, you know. But it's okay to use that anger, to transmutate that anger, you know. Like, it's not as comfortable to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Like, no fap. You know, it's one thing that I've fallen on and off of for many years now, and it's hard for me to talk about it right now. But you know, it's something that I currently, I'm not struggling with it, but I definitely feel urges to go back to it, to those urges to like just give in to the lust is so strong. And it's the same for food desires, you know. Because there's so much time within the day, you know, like we spend like a max of 2 hours in the gym, right? At the most. And then you've got work, which is 8 hours, and then you've got a few extra hours. If on the weekends, if you're not doing much, you know, that changes. That changes, you know. We haven't got the 8 hours work, so then there's time there for you to sit around and kind of fall into lust, or to fall into eating unhealthy. So we need to maintain that by applying our choices and say, do we really want to do this? Do I really want to eat the donuts? Do I really want to go eat fast food with my friends? Do I really want to fall into lust again? Should I really be looking at these images or these videos that are going to snowball me down into a path where I don't want to go? Or should I turn it off? Or should I eat healthy? Or should I apply discipline? Should I make that choice now? And that's the choice you have. You have a choice. You have a choice to be disciplined, or you have a choice to value pleasure over discipline. You know, for me, I don't want the instant gratification anymore. I don't want the pleasure anymore. I want to apply myself, and I want to continue to be disciplined by making my choices. Discipline's not something that's far out of your reach. You don't need to be disciplined in order to reach your goals. You just need to make the choice. By making the choice, the right choice, that helps you achieve a certain goal, that's what makes you disciplined. It's the choices. It's not something that people inherently have. Sure, some people might be more disciplined than others in certain ways, but it's because they've made choices, or maybe they've had parents that have brought them up in a way that they make more responsible choices around the things that they eat, around the things that they watch, around the things that they drink, about the time that they spend in life, you know. But that's just an exposure thing, and that's what I was saying. Like when you see somebody, right, who achieves a similar goal to what you want to achieve, and you're close to them, or you find them relatable, that's what motivates you. It's like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too, you know. And it's all about making the choices, baby. We've got to make these choices. That's what I'm going to continue doing. You know, I'm staying on this path, and I'm not falling off. You know, I'm not falling off, and I don't want anybody else to fall off. So make sure you leave a comment. You know, subscribe if you want to keep on this journey with me, and you want to do this journey with me. You know, but let me know who you are, what your goals are, and yeah, let's do this together. We can do this. We can be disciplined. We can make the choice today to achieve our goals. All right, small, steady steps. Let's go, baby.